thing about doing vids at 2:15 in the morning is that there's no way there's going to be any emergency vehicles because they're not allowed to have the sirens on at this time of night, are they? It's the first pay-per-view of the Austin era, and I don't remember much of it at all. Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? Let's find out. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this, another episode of 1998. Was it great? I got my laptop back yesterday and I thought, instead of telling the world, hey everyone, I've got my laptop back, I thought fuck it, I'll just do a video. So here we are. It's April the 26th, 1998, and it's Unforgiven. It's In Your House 21 for anyone who's keeping score. We are balls deep in Flair country as we are live at the Greensboro Coliseum, home of many wrestling shows. The first 4 Starcades took place at this arena. Also, Wrestle War 1990 from the WWF. This show, next year's King of the Ring, Survivor Series 2001 are amongst the many shows that are taking place in this great building. We've got 21,427 fans on board, and they're all quite up for a lot of things, I think, maybe. Anyway, this pay-per-view is important, so we're going to talk about quite a lot of things on this one, so forgive me, we're going to talk quite a bit of waffle before we actually get to the pay-per-view. Nothing new there then, eh? So let's start off with something important, right? This, folks, is the first pay-per-view with the Attitude Era WWF opener, the one that just still looks awesome to this day. It really does, doesn't it? And I mark the fuck out. As soon as that comes on, I was like, yes, that's incredible. The build-up package focuses on one match, and that is tonight, for the first time ever, we're going to have an evening gown match. No, that's not right, is it? Wait, no. For the first time ever, tonight, we're going to have an Inferno match. Yeah. Yay. So, 4 points before we get on with the pay-per-view. First things first, this show is the first pay-per-view appearance of the Attitude Era Championship belt presented to Stone Cold Steve Austin the night after WrestleMania. Now, as you I'm sure all know, this is my favourite championship belt. In fact, if I click my fingers, here's a picture of me with 2 of them because it's just that pretty. And the more observant of you will notice that the UBW Championship is also on my wall. And for a nice little bit of symmetry, the UBW belt, the strap is an Attitude Era belt strap. How's that sound? So, also, night after WrestleMania, D-Generation X. Triple H fired Shawn Michaels for dropping the ball. He's got a fair point. On that night at WrestleMania, Triple H retained his belt while Shawn Michaels lost his. He brings in D-Generation X, who cut he brings in X-Pac. He cuts a fiery promo on Bischoff, and they brought in the New Age Outlaws. While still heels, the pops are starting to get louder. The night after this is the infamous, the first of the infamous WCW invasion thing. The thing that really turned them face. They attacked Cactus Jack and Chainsaw Charlie the night after WrestleMania in a steel cage match. That, in turn, gave us the transformation from Cactus Jack into Dude Love. Cactus Jack cut a promo the week after the Raw after WrestleMania, where he basically said, look, I gave everything to you guys, and I got the shit kicked out of me, and what did you guys do? Well, you chanted for Stone Cold Steve Austin, of course. And this just isn't worth it anymore. You're not going to see Cactus Jack again for a long time. Fan-bloody-tastic. How does that sound? The Nation. So the night after WrestleMania, they've got a 6-man match. Rock walks out of the match, and Farooq is the one who takes the pinfall. Farooq calls back to the ring, wants answers. Rest of the Nation turn on him, so that the Rock is now the leader. The ruler of the Nation, which of course will lead to a singles match between the 2 of them later on. My computer's telling me I need to do an update. We can do that later. And then lastly, Vince had said that if Austin were to win the championship at WrestleMania 14, it would be a public relations disaster. So he tried to force Austin to become corporate. Yes, man. It was quite the sight seeing Stone Cold Steve Austin in a suit. Of course, he had his baseball hat on, but, you know, it was all nice. And it led to a funny moment where Austin, you know, they took a photo of Austin and Vince. And, you know, they basically said, look, you better go and get that printed because that is the last time you will ever see Stone Cold Steve Austin wearing a suit. And the place went mental. He took all his clothes off, down to his underpants, hit Vince in the bollocks. Happy, happy days. Now, a week after this, we get a potential Austin versus McMahon match. And this, ladies and gentlemen, April the 13th, a potential Austin versus McMahon live match on Raw finally beat Nitro in the ratings. It wasn't the ass whooping that I'm sure the WWF would like you to believe. It was a 4.6, right? A big number to be sure. The thing is, Nitro that night got a 4.3. So it was only 0.3, and this, Nitro was a strong show that night. As far as I remember, it's Kevin Nash versus Sting was the advertised main event they had that night. But the thing is, the match didn't actually happen. It started off, and Vince said, look, you told me you could beat me with one hand tied behind the back. So Austin has his hand tied behind his back, and Vince slaps him, and then Dude comes out and gets the disqualification. And that's the thing is just that bit, that garnered the WWF a 6.0 quarter hour. At that point, the highest rating of the Monday Night Wars. Of course, things will go a full point higher than that in the future, but that's in the future, isn't it? So I've waffled for way too long already. We should have, we've gone. Make sure we've got those covered. So I'll just have a Scooby. I get moaned at if I don't drink Blue Spot. I know you're joking. I know. I hope you are. Anyway, so Ken Shamrock, Steve Blackman, and Farooq defeating The Rock, D'Lo Brown, and Mark Henry in a poor opener. Winner on the fifth. I assume it's the winner on the face side gets a IC title shot over the edge. I think that's the case. According to the fans, Rocky sucks. Nice bit of storytelling in this one where D'Lo and Farooq are in the ring together. Farooq is vexed at D'Lo. He's like, come on, I brought you into the fold and you did all this shit to me. And D'Lo's like, no, it wasn't my fault. It wasn't my fault. It was The Rock's fault. And then he attacks him anyway. Funny stuff. That means nothing. There's Farooq gets a spine buster and then uses his belt. The Nation distract the referees. It's all good, so he's allowed to use his belt. We won't chastise him for that one. The highlight of D'Lo's time in the ring is a nice powerbomb for 2, and the heat for The Rock in this one is ridiculous. People's elbow gets way more response than it got even at WrestleMania. It's building slowly and slowly. The thing with this match is it goes 13 minutes, which is way too long for the people who are in there. The people only care about Farooq versus Rock, really. So if one of those two, they only react when it's just those two in the ring. You know, I understand that putting it off is better for business, yada, yada, yada. But at the same time, I think maybe a Farooq versus Rock match here would have been the better thing. Rock gets a DDT on Farooq for 2. But Farooq, guess what he wins with, the fucking Dominator. Bloody Christ, you never see him hit that. You never see him win it. Bloody Christ, that's incredible. Blackman and Henry especially did absolutely nothing in this match. Were pointless being in it. Farooq tells Cole that this is the start. So it's all good. Out comes Austin. He threatens the timekeeper. If he or Vince screw Austin tonight, they will get their ass whipped. Basically, Vince had implied that Stone Cold was going to get screwed at this pay-per-view. And next, we have got a decent match as Triple H defeating Owen Hart in an alright match to retain the European Championship. Now, with this storyline has been going on for months, as I've explained, as I've been doing this series. I said that I was quite amazed that Hunter Hearst Helmsley won at WrestleMania because the way the storyline's been done, Owen Hart's got to get the win. But, the storyline continues. Oh, right, fair enough. We'll bet in the next show. Owen's definitely getting his revenge. Now, this one, China is suspended in a cage on the outside of the ring. She cannot interfere. Right? So Owen's definitely getting his win, isn't he? No, he's not. Why wouldn't? So after some good brawling at ringside, which Owen controls, they go inside where Owen hits a nice backbreaker. But Helmsley drops Owen face first onto the turnbuckle, then hits a knee. China tries to bend the bars as Hunter controls with a Dragon Sleeper style move. The crowd, obviously, are silent. I've got no problem with this because any move that works outworks the head, like dropping him to face first onto the turnbuckle, the high knee to the face, or the Dragon Sleeper is all setting up for the pedigree. So I've got absolutely no problem with that. Like I say, crowd though, don't give a flying fuck. China gets out a mini saw to try and saw her way through the bars, which is hilarious. Owen gets 2 off a sunset flip. Hunter goes to sleeper. Owen is able to counter into a perfect German suplex for 2, but the crowd still don't care. They barely react when China begins to actually bend the bars, or when Owen gets a nice suplex and into Derry for 2. Macho elbow, but China has somehow got out of the cage. He's bent the bars and is now hanging off the cage 20 feet in the air. Owen knocks Hunter to the outside, trapping his legs in the rope, so Owen basically dares China to jump down him. DDT and the sharpshooter for Hunter as the cage lowers so that China can get down, and they show Road Dogg walking away at the back of the arena, so it's like Road Dogg's obviously the guy who lowered the cage. Maybe it was Road Dogg at King of the Ring 99. Maybe. Pedigree is counted into one of his own by Owen. X-Pac comes in with a fire extinguisher. Hunter gets the cover and the win, and the crowd didn't care. But I enjoyed the storytelling. Like I say, Dragon Sleeper, working in the head, all that. But you sat there thinking to yourself, this is weird booking because Owen has not got his win again. But it does make sense because Cole talks to Owen, who says that he's had enough of this bullshit, direct quote, and now it's time for a change. Enough is enough, and it's time for a change. So it does make sense. He doesn't get his big win. He's still vexed at D-Generation X. What he does? He does the one natural thing that you can do, and that's he joins the black guys, in the nation. So, all right, we'll let you have that one, I suppose, Owen. It still doesn't make sense. I mean, of all the people, why don't you form your own posse? You're like, no. Jim Cornette comes out to silence and brings out his new tag team. Oh, yes, the new Midnight Express. It's Bombastic Bob. It's Bodacious Bart. And they can both fuck the fuck off. How's that sound? They defeat the Rock and Roll Express in a piss poor match. And actually, no, that's not fair to say this was a piss poor match. This was an okay 80s style tag match. The crowd are utterly indifferent to both teams, which is weird when you think about the fact that the Rock and Roll Express are there, and they're from the old school, and that these fans are all, old school fans, as it were, and they're just these are Attitude Era WWF fans. They don't care at all about this old school tag team at all. There is a great spot in this one where Cornette wants some of the referee Timmy White. And Tim White, just instead of backing down, goes, well, if you want some, fucking get your fist up there. That is funny. Morton plays Ricky Morton, to be honest. And Gibson gets the tepid tag. Rockers hit their double drop kick, but Cornette tries an elbow to break up the cover that misses and hits Gibson. Gibson recovers, rolls up Bart, but Bob hits a bulldog and gets the win. Yay, no one cares in the slightest. And for the love of God, don't put new in front of anything in wrestling, because it doesn't work. Luna Vachon then defeating Sable in the first ever evening gown match. Yeah, this is an offshoot from what happened at WrestleMania, where Sable hit the bomb on Luna to get the win. I love how Luna, in her pre-match promo, describes Sable's body as grotesque in this one, because that's one word that I don't think I've used while describing Sable. JR describes Sable's pop as Ric Flair-esque, and you're like, that's an interesting one. I understand where we are, but I thought not mentioning the competition and all that. Everything you would expect. King has an orgasm when Sable loses her pants, and of course it's creepy as hell. Match lasts 2 minutes and 50 seconds. Miro comes out to distract Sable, and that means that Luna can pull off Sable's top and get the win. And then they go under the ring, where it's implied that Sable has pulled off Luna's top, instead of beating her up, or hell, hitting her with a weapon that's stored underneath the ring now. She just pulls the top off. Fuck it. Vince and the Stooges can't deny. Vince says he believes that there's a conspiracy. He's heard that there's a conspiracy that he's going to screw Austin at the title tonight. But the real reason he's here is that he was born near there. And it's nice to be back home. He's not out here to screw Austin, but he will not be responsible if Stone Cold screws Stone Cold. There you go. Next match, the New Age Outlaws defeating LOD 2000 in a rubbish match to retain the tag team titles. Oh goody, another rematch between these two. They had a match at Rumble that I rated a dud, for example. I think they had a match at DX as well, now I think about it. Outlaws have the catchphrase, but aren't that over really with the crowd. They are, but they're not massively. They bring up a blow-up doll of some guy called Dean Smith. I have no idea who Dean Smith is. I have no idea why I should boo you now because of some guy called Dean Smith. Nice power slam by Hook is the highlight, but he looks horrible as he loses his grip when he wants to go for a second power slam. Jim Ross tries to cover up for him. Oh, they're very hot, it's perspiration. No, he just drops him. It's just that simple. And then in one of those things that bugs me in wrestling, the New Age Outlaws go to work on Animal, and they focus all their attack on the left knee. And not only, right, is it decent, right, Animal sells it really well. But it's just one of those times where I like psychology in wrestling, I like storytelling, I like them focusing on a body part and weakening it down. One problem, and you can probably guess if you know wrestling a little bit, where this one's going to go, because think about it. Road Dogg's finishing move is the shake, rattle and roll rubbish punches. Billy Gunn's is the rocker dropper, which he calls the famouser, which I suppose is what I should call it when I'm referring to him. Yeah, which has nothing to do with the knee and the punches to the face. Nothing to the knee, so what's the point? You know, it has no bearing in the finish whatsoever, so I'd rather they fuck it off and didn't do any of it. And the annoying thing is, it's great. It's really good stuff. Animal at one point's down on the mat. He gets up and the left knee buckles and he falls to the floor. Fucking gorgeous. It's really nice. It doesn't go anywhere. And after a while, of course, everyone starts selling it. So it's one of those meh. Gunn hits the famouser for 2 for utter silence. Hot tag to Hawk hits a splash to silence. Gunn uses a belt, which of course has been the New Age Outlaws finisher for a while. But Hawk kicked out. German for dog by Animal, which gets the 3. But wait, both their shoulders were down at the same time. That, folks, that's a draw, which means the Outlaws retain. And then, in another thing that makes no sense in my opinion, LOD hit the Doomsday device on the referee for essentially reversing the decision because they think it's a 3. LOD's music plays and everything. And the referee's like, no, I made a mistake. I fucked up. This is what happened. So yeah, LOD hit a Doomsday device on him. Like, why? He's just doing his job. He made a mistake. He admitted he made a mistake. No, fuck it. No, mate, it's just me. Should we call it 1 star for psychology? Because we're nice? But then it didn't go anywhere. So maybe we should just give it half. Look below, you'll see what I've decided in the 2 hours between me filming this and me uploading it. Oh, shit me. Sorry, my throat's very parched. Oh dear, look at what's coming next. If you've seen this show recently, I think you know what I'm about to say. As Tennessee Lee introduces some band called Sawyer Brown, who will be doing backup singing for Jeff Jarrett tonight. The fans chant "We Want Flair" while they're singing this song. Sawyer Brown, no idea who these people are. Steve Blackman mercilessly breaks it up, and not until they'd finished the song, they sang the entire thing on a wrestling pay-per-view, country music. Fuck off! Live in England. Not interested in country music in the slightest. Blackman puts an armbar on, Tennessee Lee takes him out with a guitar, which allows Jeff Jarrett to put the figure 4 on, I don't care. Yeah, the whole time, just "We want Flair, we want Flair, we want Flair, where the fuck is Flair, we want Flair, we want Flair." So yeah, it's all good. The thing is, something like this had to happen because while we're focusing on some band and Jeff Jarrett, they're putting the flames around the ring, and that's what we've got. Kane losing to the Undertaker in the first Inferno match. Taker beat Kane at WrestleMania in a rubbish match after 3 Tombstone Piledrivers. Naturally, we need a series of rematches, each one getting worse than the first match. Tonight, we're going to do it in a match where the idea is to set your opponent on fire. The ring is helpfully surrounded by fire. That's convenient, isn't it? It's one of those, why the fuck not? I suppose if you need any more reasoning, because look, you beat me at the biggest stage show in ever. I'd like a rematch, please, isn't enough for the casual fan. We need a reason to care. So Kane went to the graveyard where their parents are buried and set their graves on fire. Why the fuck not? A week before this show, he'd chokeslammed the Undertaker into his mother's casket, which is lovely. You know, just a nice rematch would do, honestly. This match has got a great visual at the start. Undertaker hits old school, and as he lands, the flames flare up to 20 feet high, and that looks fucking great. It does. And every single time that the dude who's on the outside on the propane goes, psh, and you hear it for a couple of seconds before the flame goes on. Every time it does it, it diminishes the visual of it a little bit more. And when they go for a wide shot, and you see the dude crouched at ringside, it's like, fuck, I don't want to see that at all. The match is slow, the match is methodical, and the match is boring. They don't have to shill how hot it is. And it's one of those, but you're so far away from the ring, you can't be that. It's not like, oh my god, it's so hot. I mean, fucking Kane's pyro is hot. I'm sure we've all got experiences of being at a house show when Kane's come out, or Booker T's come out, or if you've been anywhere near the entrances and you've had your eyebrows singed off when the fucking pyros have gone off. You know that one? But if it's just a standard flames, it won't be that hot, will it? Will it? Anyway, the crowd are very quiet until Taker gets a chokeslam that Kane completely no-sells. He goes to the outside, but here's Vader to attack the Big Red Machine. And they brawl at ringside, and then Taker hits what is probably my favourite spot of the night, of the whole show, to be honest. As he dives, he does his ridiculous suicide dive over the top rope onto Kane and onto Vader. That, friends, looked fucking superb. Bear attacks Taker, which is never a good move, because Taker bashes Kane with a chair, conveniently with his arm under the ring. So it's like, someone can put someone can put flame-proof gel all over my hand while I'm conveniently lying like this under the fucking ring. Really? And then in one of those things that just makes no sense at all, right? Undertaker chases Paul Bearer to the stage, right, where some band's instruments are all there, yeah? He gets the bass drum and fucking bashes Paul Bearer with it. Now, I've got no objection to this at all, but his face goes through the skin of the drum. And again, I've got no problem with this, but what I have issue is, and what I just can't understand once again, the random laws of physics that exist in wrestling. Somehow Paul Bearer gets busted open from this. If you got the side of the drum, whacked him at coffee granules, here's a great thing, right? If you hit him with this bit of the drum, yeah, whack him like that, I have no objection to you getting busted open, because they're heavy. I used to be a drummer, I know these things, right? But if your fucking face went through the drum skin, that's not going to bust you open. That looks stupid. It really, really looks stupid. Anyway, they go back to ringside just in time for Kane to get a chair, which is kicked into his own face, which means he staggers back. And he's like, wait. Oh, God, I'm on fire. He's just like waiting for a couple of seconds. And, of course, he's got gel all the way up his arm. So he's not actually burning, but he goes backstage, oh, I'm on fire. And that's that. And that's the end of the match. This match has become mythical in wrestling fans. If you talk about Undertaker and Kane, you think of the WrestleMania match and this match, it's got almost a legendary status. And I have no clue why. Because it really isn't very good. There's one moment that's a very good move, because of the way that Taker does the suicide dive. It's not only just a suicide dive over the ropes and onto the two big guys. If you think about it, it's over the fire as well, and the visual, because of the way that they did it with the camera low down, about apron height, looking up on Taker, it looks amazing. It looks so good. That's it. That's the best part of this match. It's really not very good. Also, one thing I also need to point out is at the end, Jim Ross is going into supercell mode, telling us how great Undertaker is, right? And he says that the Undertaker is the baddest phenom in the history of the WWF. And excuse me, I'm one of these nitpicky people I know at the best of times, but I know that Jimmy Superfly Snuka was called the Phenom in the 80s. Other than that, can you let me know in the comments if there's been any others? Because I was properly perplexed by this one. Because all right, yeah, the Undertaker's not the only phenom, but your choices are Snuka or Undertaker. It's like, well, there's quite an easy choice, really. Oh, fuck it, never mind. In your main event, Dude Love defeating Stone Cold Steve Austin via disqualification, so Austin retains the championship. Naturally, Austin's pop in his first pay-per-view defense is fucking huge. Joined. Is there a bus running this? No, never mind. Dude jumps Austin, but that doesn't go. I'm going to go through this one play by play because we haven't done it for any of the matches, really, have we? That doesn't go well as the rattlesnake attacks while Jim Ross rips on Bischoff, saying that someone from another wrestling organisation said you don't get over in black trunks and black boots. Oh, yeah, why not? Austin scores with a spinebuster and an elbow and then chokes Dude on the ropes. They brawl up the entranceway where Dude gets suplexed and then gets hip tossed off the stage. That's easily a 6-foot drop. That's a nasty looking bump. In the ring, he goes for the rope straddle and allows Dude. He misses the rope straddle and allows Dude to control with a bulldog and an elbow. He chokes Austin in the corner, but Austin then comes back with a clothesline. Dude goes straight back on the attack with a kitchen sink and a bossy scissors. And here comes Vince and the Stooges, but they're just to observe proceedings on the outside. Austin escapes and talks shit at Vince, and that allows Love to get a roll-up for 2. Austin rams the knee into the ring post and wants a pile driver on the outside, which Dude wisely counters. Pile driver on the concrete's a career-ending move, isn't it? Vince wanders over to Austin, which fires up the rattlesnake, allowing Dude to attack from behind. On the apron, Dude goes for a suplex into the ring, but Austin counters with a neck slap, which of course put Austin on the outside. Vince hilariously tells the referee not to count, and then inside, Dude puts on an abdominal stretch, and he's screaming at the timekeeper, ring the bell, but then Austin counters it, and he's like, no, don't. It's fucking brilliant. Outside, Austin counters a suplex into one of his own onto the ring steps. Again, nasty stuff. And they briefly brawl into the crowd. Inside, a neckbreaker by Dude, who calls for some sweet chin music. Austin counters, and the referee is nailed instead. Stunner is countered into the mandible claw, but there's no referee. Vince tries to revive the referee and fails, which is brilliant. Austin dumps Dude out and gets a chair, and Vince tries to take it off him, allowing Dude to push it into Austin's face. Austin recovers quite a bit too quickly for my liking, to be honest, but the chair ends up going into Dude's face, and then the pop of the night is Austin swinging the chair into Vince's face. It is fucking monumental, the pop that gets. He puts Dude in the ring, and then Austin counts his own 3, which apparently counts as a win, according to the dude who cues up the sound. Which is it's a really stupid finish, I think. Well, it's not stupid, it's just one of those, It makes sense, especially down the road in the storyline, which I'll talk about in a second, but it's just one of those, right? He counts his own 3. How many times have you seen that in a match? How many times has that happened in a match, and the dude's in the back, and ring the bell, that's it. But for some reason, the guy who's cued the music up, he sees Austin count his own 3, and goes, yep, that counts as a win in my books. Now, the point is the match was a decent Attitude Era brawl, going around the ring, going through the crowd, the yada yada yada. The thing is, it tells a good story. Foley took some big bumps in this one, and it sets up the next month's main event beautifully, absolutely beautifully, because Vince was vexed at the referee and said, look, basically, we'll talk about this over the edge, but basically Vince said, look, I'll be the referee. That way, the only way that you're going to win is if I count it, which of course means that the main event is going to be fucking awesome. If you haven't seen Over the Edge 1998, trust me, go and watch it before I review it, because I guarantee you all of it. Poor show, headlined by a decent but not wonderful main event, is what I'll say on this one. You felt with Austin and Foley, Austin and Dude, whatever you want to call it, that they had a decent match, but they've got more in them, is what I'll say. There's more to come, and if you're looking at it back on this one with a bit of hindsight, and that you've seen Over the Edge, you know that there is so much better to come next month. Over the Edge main event is one of my all-time favourite wrestling matches. It is the most perfectly booked match you can think of. Obviously, people say that I underrate matches. The amount of comments that I get saying, Mick, you've underrated this match. It's easily a 5-star match. You only gave it 4 3/4 match. That sort of shit. But seriously, there is nothing on this show that I think I've underrated here. I think my final overall rating is very, very generous. Owen versus Triple H is good, but you can see a much better match of theirs at WrestleMania. Everything else is skippable, easily. I'm going to be so generous here, and I'm going to go 2.5 out of 10. But I can't give it more than that. Ladies and gentlemen, a completely skippable pay-per-view. I have been Mark P. What did you think of this, their show? Normal service, back up hopefully Yes, you can see this in the comments already. I've already said this, but yes, I will be doing a Q&A vid very, very shortly. All right, I just thought I'd give you this one because it's happened in April, and today is the last day of April. It had to be today. It was this or the WCW one, and we're going to do this one. All right, come on. I've been Mark P. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this vid. Please leave me a comment if you haven't already hit that subscribe button. Hit me a like as well. It means a lot. Follow me on Twitter. All that jazz. I've been Mark P. I've said that 3 times. Take it easy, guys. And